Hello, this is David with Paystubz. In this video, we're going to talk about the reports in the system and how do you get the data you want, when you want it, how you want it. So let's start off with figuring out what topic of data you're looking for. So there's a few different ways to go about getting your data out of the system and what you want when you want it. My saved reports is going to become your most common, if it isn't already, method of doing so. Now let's look at one other quick way. In the upper left corner, under the 3-bar menu tree, if I click there, you'll see I have different items here. So with the 2 humans right here, that's going to show you data related to the people that you are allowed to see based on your security rights. So you can look for a name of a report, you could search for that, or I could go down here to payroll. For instance, if it's a payroll report I'm looking for, go down to reports, and then I have payroll registers, post-payroll reporting, which is my general ledger, payroll funding, total dollars needed to cover payroll, all kinds of different information underneath there. So you can go find reports in that manner. If it's a timekeeping related report, I'll come up here to time, under the 2 humans again, time, and then I can go down here to reports, and then I can go to any type of report here and work from there. So that's another way to get to different reports for data that you need. I'll click on our logo again, and so now I'm back to a full screen of my main dashboard. So my saved reports. This is going to become, or if it isn't already, your most common way to find your data when you want it. So under the saved as name area here, I can click in this filter, this column header filter, and you notice I have the word like right here. This is a drop down where I could use starts with and so on. We should have that defaulted to the word like for you because it's a more broader search term. And I know I need an overtime report, for instance. So I'm going to type in the word overtime. And I'm looking. And I'm like, well, last year no, shoot. I thought it was last year overtime by location. That's not it. So and then I'm going to go look for OT, say for overtime. And then I press enter. And I get these different reports. I'm like, ooh, there it is, last week overtime. That's the one I wanted. So then I just click the play button over here on the left. So now the system is pulling that particular report. So you'll notice time entry dates last week in the upper right. This is last week's overtime. So you'll notice I have in the overtime column a greater than 0 filter there. So before I get into that particular area, let's go and take a look at the filters that can be deployed for this particular report. Under every single report, there's this filter icon right here. So I can click this filter, and then I get global filters. In this particular one, I have time entry dates. If you're on a payroll-related report, that's probably going to be pay dates. Not pay periods, but pay dates. So I can choose all kinds of different items here. I could use a calendar range. I can go last week, last quarter, last number of days, all kinds of, I think, anyway, it's fun stuff because you can get your data a lot of different ways. And then in the column right here, if I click this filters and then the column, so these column header filters, this overtime greater than 0, I have that same one right here. So it's just another way to look at them. You can get into some custom filters as well. So I could go and add a custom filter, and then I can do all kinds of fun, if this, then that, then display this data or not. For those of you that like that kind of stuff or need it, and you want a more detailed tutorial on it, just let us know. But there's some pretty fun custom filter work you can do there. So let's close out of that. And again, that's under the oil filter, the little filter icon. I can get to all the filters related to this particular report. And I can get to some of them right on the surface of the screen as well. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that on the filtering. You can have multiple filters going on. So let's get rid of this overtime filter, this greater than 0, hit the delete, press enter. So now I've got all my rows. And my total hours are set to greater than 0. That's okay, I do want that. But I only want people with regular hours of, say, greater than 35 hours. Press enter. And I want people with a last name starting with the letter G. And so last name column starts with G, press enter. So now I'm going to have people with a last name with G more than 35 hours. So when I could say you can filter these reports, you can filter them in a lot of different ways. So once you have the data you want, let's say this is what you want. You want all the people with a last name starting with G more than 35 hours. I know it's a little weird, but stick with me here. This is an example only. So I want that report. I need it in Excel. In the high right, I can click these three dots. I can go down here to export. Now I'm going to get different options here. I can push this report out to Excel, CSV, a text file even, HTML, PDF, whatever I need it as. But before doing that, I might think, I really don't need all these columns to export on this report. So instead of pushing the report to Excel and then deleting the columns there, you could click Export Settings, click Columns to Export, and you can deselect what you don't want to, columns you don't want to show. So I don't want these different time off ones. I could click Apply and export accordingly. So that's how you export reports from the system. So now let's talk about sorting. Let's get rid of these filters that I have. We'll get rid of that G on the last name. We'll get rid of this regular hours. And now I just have anybody that has more than 0 hours in my report. And this is, again, for last week. But I want to sort this a certain way or group it a different way. So first off, let's sort by the employee's default location here. So you see location A there. Location A is down here as well. But I want this sorted by location. So I can hit the drop-down icon, and I can click Sort in Ascending Order. So now I'm sorting this in ascending order, but I also want it alphabetically by last name within the location. So to do that, I can hit the drop-down arrow here, and then in the Sort Ascending, I would hold down on a Mac, you'd hold down your Command key. On a PC or a Windows-based machine, you would use your Control key and then click Sort Ascending at the same time. So now you'll see I have a number 1 here in the upper left under the Locations column, and I have a 2, meaning the secondary sort. So now under Location A, notice Josh Bronson's number 1, and the last person listed for Location A is Jennifer Winston, and that's all alphabetical there. And then I start over on Location B, Bugs Bunny, and so on. So that's how you can do a dual sort. It's incredibly handy at times, for instance, by location and then by last name. So we have that part. But now I want to group this as well. I need grouped totals. For instance, I want all my location A. I want this report to total these hours by location A, location B, and so on, but still maintain this sorting. So it's awfully easy. I can hit the drop down in the upper left on that column, the column I want to group by, and click Group. So now the system's gone and grouped by location, A, B, and so on. But I think, I don't need this employee detail in here. All I want is these location totals, which are here and here. So in the upper left, I can click this little down-facing arrow, and it turns it sideways, which then just gives me my nice totals by location. But then I think, I do need to look at the people's names. Hit that arrow again, I'm right back to the detail. Hit it again, I don't have it. Incredibly handy little feature to get groups and get totals by grouping. So that's how you do that. So now let's talk about these columns. Let's expand these rows again. And I'm going to hit the drop down and I'm going to ungroup this. So I just simply uncheck this, click Apply. Now I've ungrouped. So now we want to add some different columns. So I'm looking at this report and I need to change this for last year. So these time entry dates, I can click the time entry dates there, or a better practice is to use this filter icon because there's more capability under that icon. And this last week, I want to make this last year, and I want to click Apply in the lower right. So now I have everybody's hours for last year and people greater than 0. And so I've got this all set. And again, sorted by location, then by last name. So that's my basic layout that I want. But I need to add some columns. Let's say I need the employee's hire date in this report. I can hit the 3-dot menu in the high right, come down to Add, Remove Columns, and then over on the left side, these are all the columns that are available to display. Over on the right side, these are the columns that are currently displayed. And I have a search bar right at the top. So the search bar is really handy. So I'll type in the word hire. I'm like, ooh, employee date hired. Oh, shoot, that's right, I do need the hired month as well. So let's bring in both. Check both those boxes, click Add in the lower left. Now I have these columns over here on the right, and then I click Apply. So now I see the date hired and the hired date way over to the right, and I think, oh no, I need these columns to show over here on the left right next to the person's name. How do I do that? Well, click the three dots in the high right, go back to the Add Remove Columns, and then over here for these current columns displaying, scroll down, there's that employee date hired and hired month. Check those boxes, and now you notice these up and down facing arrows get highlighted. So I hit the up button. Up moves the data to the left, down will move it to the right. So now I have hired, hired month, and I think, no, I want the hired month to be left of the date hired. And then I deselected those, just check the one, click up. Now I have it there. Click Apply in the lower right. Now you're going to see those columns right here. So that's how quick that is to reorder your columns. And if I had somebody look at this report, they come back to me, they go, hey, I like that report, this is good. I really don't need the hired month in there. And you can come back to this report. You can hit the drop down, hit remove, and now the hired month is gone and I still have date hired. So that's how you can add and remove columns and resort them. But before I go and show this report to somebody, I think, I'd probably better save a version of this because I think I'm going to have to make some changes. I just don't know what the changes are, so I'd better save a version. So you can hit the three dots on the high right. Save View is going to save over the top of the report you clicked on to arrive here. So before I do that, well, if I click Save View, it gives me the chance I could do Save. It's going to save over the top of this, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to hit the three dots. I'm going to do Save View As, which is very similar to how Excel spreadsheets, Word documents work. So I want to rename this report. I'm going to call this Last Year, Time, Including Hire Date. So that's what it has. And then I could change this description. Last year includes hire date, if I want to, because that's a column in the My Saved Reports area. Have it run immediately, which means when you arrive on that report, the system will grab the data and display it to you right away. Generally speaking, you always want to check that. I'll click Save and Run. Before doing that, though, I can share this report in this view with somebody else in my organization. And when you click Share, you see this Share with Others or Share with All. When I first started using this system, this scared the heck out of me because I didn't want to share the wrong data with the wrong people. Don't worry about that. Everybody's own individual security profile and their groups, as in the people they can see, will govern that. So if I click Share with All, that doesn't mean all the employees in my company are going to be able to see all this data. It's only if they have the ability to see these people and see this report will they be able to see this view and layout of that data. So that's how that share works. I'll click Save and Run. So now I just saved a version of this report. So now I can go back to it later, make quick adjustments after the report's reviewed for somebody that I built the report for. So that's how you can save reports. So after I've made a change, if I'm looking at this, I think greater than hours, I need this for greater than 1,000 hours. I can press the Enter key there, or over to the right, this little blue circular arrow button, I can click that, and that's going to refresh, so to say, the report and rerun the report based on that new filter. So that's a little refresh, or apply that filter that I've done, or when I type in the filter, I can press Enter. Just one little quick add-on to this video for you. So we've covered the saving, the grouping, the filtering, how to get to My Saved Reports. We've covered a lot in this little video. If you need more or want more information on how to build your own reports, we'll help you build them. We'll teach you how to build them. Please, if you're the primary contact for us with your company, contact your system specialist with Paystubz. If you're not our primary contact for your company, please contact your head administrator of this system with your company. You can ask them questions. If they're not able to answer your questions for you, they'll contact us, and we'd be more than happy to help you get the data you want, when you want it, how you want it, because this system can do a really, really nice job of that for you. We are Paystubz. We're at paystubz.com, and our phone number is 605-721-2480. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a great day.